Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Welcome, everybody, to the Two Goalies, One Mic Crossing Swords pregame show. I am Duane from Two Goalies, One Mic, joined by none other than Ty B. And introducing, you all know him already, but he has not really ever joined us for hockey coverage. The one, the only Monster. Guys, how are you all tonight?
Hey, we're living. Just had some Taco Bell. I'm going to be, probably spending the first intermission in the bathroom, but hopefully it's not, a shitty result on the ice as well.
I like that. I like the way you transitioned into the shitty result.
Yeah, you thought about that beforehand.
No, that was just off the cuff right there, Monster.
That was awesome.
I feel good. I want to see our boys go in there, hand Sam Reinhart some crow. I want to see him take down the top-ranked Florida Panthers. Deep team, a lot of speed, a lot of skill. That's one grinding team. It's going to be one heck of a test against us today. You know what I mean? To see where the measuring stick is and how we've come. So I'm excited for it.
Me too. It's definitely a game if you're a Sam Reinhart. If you were a Sam Reinhart fan, if you owe a Sam Reinhart jersey, that you were definitely had this one circled on your calendar to see, how you would fare against the former Sabre, and he's played pretty well down in the Sunshine State. Not being forced to play a top role down there in Florida. I know he kind of fluctuates between the second and third line, but having a decent season for sure. Kind of the season I wish I could have seen him have for us had everything kind of stayed the way you wanted it to before the season started. If you had Jack as your first line center, you could have had Sam down as your second line center. Kind of like what I predicted for him. Not being forced to play a first line role in Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's huge for him. He hasn't put up huge numbers for them down there, but he still played, pretty decently for them. And as a team, Florida is just playing really, really good hockey. And I think it starts more with, their goaltending and their transitional play, which is not allowed for, Bobrovsky to get forced to, play in very high danger situations, which is something they've kind of struggled with a bit over the past few seasons. But it seems like they finally have the right pieces that are gelling together the right way that you need if you're, the Florida Panthers to make a playoff push. Sam obviously was, a good player here. We've heard lots of stories about, what was going on off the ice. Not going to get too into any of that, but it's refreshing to see the Sabres still, playing. Besides all the goals they've been letting up, but like playing somewhat, interesting hockey. So hopefully that continues here tonight. And what should be a fun one with Reinhart, his first appearance back against the Sabres, and then all the other issues going on with the Sabres roster currently.
Yeah, big moves made today. Actually, big news out of Buffalo, according to Kevin Weeks, acquiring Malcolm Subban, who's been a little bit of a suitcase in the league. Playing for, I think this may be his fourth or his fifth team now. Acquiring him for future considerations. Last time I heard of a future considerations trade, it involved Rob Ray in Ottawa. We traded Rob Ray to the Ottawa Senators for future considerations.
Yeah, future considerations gets traded a lot.
Yeah, so it's funny. At the same time, you do bring in a goaltender who has a lot of experience. He's not just an AHL guy. He's played quite a bit in the NHL. So, you have to think that this is definitely, without a doubt, an upgrade over Aaron Dell. And would maybe push a guy like Tokarski, who battles, I heard it on a podcast earlier today while I was at work that, Tokarski is valued because the guy is going to go out there and he's going to lay it all on the line. He's going to, he's gonna battle for United because the guy doesn't take for granted the time he does have in the NHL because he knows it might be limited. So if bringing in a guy like Malcolm Subban while Craig Anderson's still injured kind of pushes a guy like Tokarski to play even better, I'm all for it because A, whatever gets Aaron Dahl out of the lineup, and B, whatever pushes your starting goalie right now to be better, I'm all on board.
Aaron Dell, the farmer in the Dell, the dude's been terrible. 4.56 GAA. Like, I think I could do better. I know some bar league guys I think could toss in
Yeah,
there.
we got Duane right here.
That's what I'm saying. Grab your stick. But it is what it is. It's a stopgap guy. We need to get to the next goaltender like UPL if he's the guy that's going to take over. I like the fact that they're not rushing these kids into the lineup. I like the fact that they're letting them marinate and earn their spots. I don't mind that. Like, even if we get killed tonight, which who knows what's going to happen, play the same game, compete, work hard, play hockey, give me something to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
agree.
I'd rather watch this team lose 100 games, but try their asses off. You know what I'm saying? I want a hardworking team. Buffalo sucks. Yeah, but you know what? Give us a couple years. Our pipeline of talent, who we got in minors, we got Owen Power marinating. We got Quinn tearing it up. Like, we have pieces, and I got to respect the regime for not bringing them in too early and screwing them up. Maybe that's what happened a little bit with Duane. Would Duane have started right away with this regime? Maybe. Who knows? But he's here, and it is what it is. But Subban's fine with me. I'm okay with it. Like you said, it's better than Aaron Dell. I didn't mind Anderson. He was playing well. Tokarski, like you said, he plays his ass off because he knows his time here is limited. He's here for a cup of coffee. But while he's here playing his ass off, he's got to win some. You know, that's going to help his cause a little bit here too. So I'm okay with the Subban thing. It's just a stopgap till we get our next guy.
Tokarski.
Perfect transition because Dustin Tokarski's in COVID protocol, so the Sabres did have to call up UPL to be the backup here tonight. So it will be Aaron Dell in net, which could spell a lot of issues. So Monster's prediction of potentially being, 100-0 is probably in play here because I don't know if you throw UPL in if Dell starts really getting, his shit lit up. But we'll see about that one. Duane, what are your thoughts here? Tokarski likely if he's in the protocol. I don't know his vaccination status. Pretty much.
I think the only unvaccinated player in the league right now is.
I was gonna say I don't think the Sabres have any issues.
No, he's. No, not. He might have gotten vaccinated. What was his name? He's with.
No, either way, not on the.
He got COVID today. The only unvaccinated player. God, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, well, either way, we'll move on. But likely to be out at least 7 to 10 days, probably like at a minimum. Even with the vaccination, just because it's probably still going to be live in your system for a little bit. So we're likely going to see UPL get some action here. Duane, how excited are you for that?
I am very on the fence with it. He's had a couple nice spots down in Rochester, but his numbers aren't very good. Over a 3 goals against average, over a 3 for goals against average, below 900 per save percentage. On a good Rochester team, you would think that a guy that you kind of saw some bright spots at the end of last season, and like I said, maybe in the beginning of this season, you would think the numbers would be a little bit better. That's kind of why I've earlier a couple weeks ago said that I know it's probably not a popular take, but with the way both Portillo and Devin Levi are playing in the NCAA right now, don't be surprised if next year UPL could be the odd man out because for a guy with his size, you would want to see some better results with how long he in his first pro season in the AHL, but with all the injury history with him, again, and being on a good team in Rochester right now, you would think that the needle would be moving forward, not backward right now with him.
That worries me a lot about him. Any young player that has a history of injuries, especially hip injuries for a goaltender, it's something that you can't ignore. You know what I mean? That's going to come down the line. The more games he gets, the more mileage he gets on it. And depending on the injury, who's to say he's not 1-2 moves away from re-injuring it again? So you might be absolutely right. UPL could be the odd man out. But I don't know, boys. Tonight, Aaron Dell, you know what I mean? You got Barkov, you got Huberto, there's just we might see UPL by the second. I just hope not, but
Aaron Dell, computer Dell, it don't matter. Sabres gonna lose by $1 billion.
I hope not, man. I hope not. Like I said, I'd love to see the Sabres come in here and go into Florida and really give them a game. That's a very top-ranked team in the league. And I think there was a lot of high expectations surrounding Florida coming into the season. They made the moves in the offseason. They have 2 very good goaltenders. Alexander Barkov is possibly a top 3 center in the NHL. And, the expectations there are so high, and they've lived up to the expectations, even with all the controversy surrounding their former head coach, Joel Quenneville, that had to be a distraction. And for the transition from one head coach to another was pretty seamless. And, they've taken it in stride, and they haven't really lost a step.
You know what makes me angry is you think back, fellas, like 4 years ago, Florida was in the toilet. They couldn't get 300 people in the building. You look at the same time we were in the bottom. Toronto was in the bottom with us. They were terrible. Now you see Toronto and Florida at the top, and we're still where we're at. They turned it around so fast. Like Florida went from nothing to the team they are now almost overnight. It's like somebody somewhere sees and makes these moves. We just can't find the guy. Hopefully we have him now that can make those moves for us, because it's frustrating. But you look back at the Toronto game, we played well, lost on a fluke the last second. We beat the Lightning. You know what I mean? So we raise our level of competition against better teams. So it's definitely going to be a test.
Yeah, from our fellow train wreck compadre, Tyler Bertuzzi, that was the name I was looking for, is the only unvaccinated player in the league right now. Also from Maniac, if UPL becomes the odd man out after never being the odd man out, I'm gonna cry. It's a very big possibility. One good thing, one problem that you can have, that's a good problem to have, is obviously having a lot of talent at the goaltending positions, which, in the pipeline Buffalo does have at the moment. So, that's a really good problem to have. So if you're looking into next season, and that might be an option where you kind of, you can get a good return on a UPL for a team, in a similar situation as Buffalo. I mean, I would pull the trigger on it. I really would. Especially with a lot of the veteran names that are going to be available come this offseason.
No, absolutely. But Duane, there's one thing we still haven't talked about for this game that I think is probably the biggest story: the return of
Casey Middlestat.
Tybee's Casey Middlestat. I believed before all of you. Don't you guys worry. Don't fret. My baby boy Casey always gets it done. He's going to figure things out tonight here. I think he's going to fit right back into this lineup pretty easily.
He gives you so much flexibility up and down your lineup. In my personal opinion, Casey Middlestat is your best 200-foot center. He's going to play in terms of all around game, and this is the only feather I'll give Ralph Kruger in his cap for his time here. He did turn Casey Middlestat into a better defensive hockey player. That was very noticeable in his time with Kruger. But the offensive side has definitely translated more under Don Granato. So in terms of your best 200-foot center, without a doubt, it's definitely Casey Middlestat. So having him back in the lineup gives you a lot of flexibility, gives you the ability to move some pieces around in your lineup. I'm not sure who's getting forced out, who's the odd man out. Is it an Eakin? I don't know. Have they?
Could be.
You would think.
I
have not seen. I know
he's played poorly with literally everyone besides Okposo and I forgot who they were putting him with. Maybe it was Gergensons. Those are the only two people that play well with him. Everyone else plays way worse than they do with anyone else. While they're with Cody Eakin, he's bringing everyone down. He's an anchor on this team right now. He was last year for most of the season, besides when he had that one line that was rolling for a little bit, that REO line or whatever it was. But outside of that, he's really looked lost. And as much as I love mullets, you can't just keep taking pictures of his mullet and making fans think he's cool, because it's not working anymore.
He's definitely been more productive than he was last season. I will give him that. As of 20 minutes ago, Lance Lyasowski, Thompson centering Skinner and Olofsson, Cousins centering Okposo and Murray. Middlestat will be centering Asplund and Gergensons, and Eakin will be centering Hinostroza and Jankowski. Dahlin paired with Pysyk, Bryson and Jokiharju, Hag and Miller again, and of course Aaron Dell in that Florida Panthers lineup. No, go ahead.
Jankowski's first game too, as well.
Yep, that's right. Yep, he just newly acquired Jankowski. Sam Bennett will be centering Verhaeghe and Huberdeau. Lundell will be centering Reinhart and Mammon. Thornton, Big Jumbo Joe, will be centering Tippett and Vetrano, and then Lustranen will be centering Hornquist and Lomberg. Ekblad with Uyghur, Gudas and Kierstead, and Carlson with Montour, another former Sabre, Bobrovsky, and Knight as your goaltenders. I forgot he's out. Alexander Barkov. No Alexander Barkov. That's a big sigh of relief for Sabres fans tonight.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Barkov is one of the best centers in the entire league. So anytime he is going to be out of the lineup in a matchup, especially when you don't have necessarily an elite center to match up against him, and you're playing on the road, so they're going to have the ability to choose the matchups here. It gives them less of that advantage to be able to take advantage of you with the matchups there, Monster.
Yeah, it does. We'll see what happens with Mitz coming back. Barkov being out, like you said, it's huge. You can't replace a talent like Barkov. He's almost impossible to play against. The guy's got strength. He's got speed. His ice vision is ridiculous. The dude is just a warrior. You know what I'm saying? So not having him absolutely helps us. Middlestat, I like that he's on the third line. Ease him back in. Don't put him up against, their top talent. Give him time to get his timing back, get his feet wet, so on and so forth. You damn sure don't want to re-injure him. Limit his minutes a little bit, you know what I mean, and see where it goes from there. But, there's going to be a lot of turnover on this roster. Like, I got a couple questions about the lines. I'm not going to bring them up now as you were reeling them off. I'm kind of like, well, wouldn't you put him? But that's, you know what I mean? That's for a different show. That's a long conversation why some guys play with some guys. But They got to put it together. They got to put it together, and they got to push forward. I mean, Tuck's going to be ready to come back pretty soon. Like, you got to make a spot
a
for him.
lot sooner than expected, too.
Yeah, who's the odd man out when Tuck comes back?
I wouldn't say sooner than expected. The timeline I always heard was he could be ready within a month. So
yeah, well, originally was the surgery was in July, I believe. It was a 6-month timeline.
Oh, so it might have been cut. It must have been good things right before the trade, and the Sabres were like, all right, let's get it done because he might be ready. Because that's what I was hearing, like a month.
You take our damaged goods, we'll give you our damaged goods.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Well, his fixed goods at that point.
Yeah,
is this the first time in NHL history that two injured players have been traded for each other? Has that ever happened?
I'm sure it has.
I don't know about in season though, like that.
I remember. Well, nobody was injured on our side of things, but I remember when pre-tank, pre-McDavid Eichel draft, we traded. There's a Tyler Myers trade to Winnipeg for Evander Kane. Evander Kane came in. He didn't play a single game that season because he had shoulder surgery. It was during the whole controversy with him and Dustin Byfuglien. It was helped. In reality helped the tank because you acquired a goal scoring winger at the time, and he wasn't going to play during the tank season. So that was a win for Tim Murray at the time. But I've never heard of two guys being out indefinitely for an extended period of time being traded for each other. This is that I wouldn't say it's probably not a first, but it's probably the first time in a long time it's happened.
How lucky were we to get out of that Evander Kane thing? How lucky were we looking back? Oh boy, we dodged a bullet there, boys. We dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He wanted to go into free agency, signed with San Jose, and hey, now he's playing in the minors the year after a career high season.
See, what bothers me is that he could have still been here in Buffalo. He could have been betting at the creek all the time. He could have parked there on game days, lost a shit ton of money to them so that they give everyone else more favorable betting lines because they're making so much money off that jabroni that, Creek Degenerate, Degenerate Al, myself, Meerkat, and, the rest of us could all just be making a little bit more free money. But no, Vander Kane had to go do it elsewhere.
It costs too much money to fly his Lamborghini everywhere.
That story in itself is so crazy that he spent $5,000 to fly in that car to California for 2 days.
Didn't they steal his clothes and throw his clothes out too to send him a message? The guys in the locker room.
That was when he was at Winnipeg.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. That was Dustin Byfuglien. There was a lot going on there.
Oh yeah.
But so before we, I said puck's probably going to drop here in a minute or two. So let's get our quick predictions here for, what to expect out of tonight's game between the Buffalo Sabres and the Florida Panthers.
I think we got to have some breaks go our way. We got to get some bounces. There has to be a couple saves during the game, no matter what time, that swing the momentum, that just kind of give us one. So I'm hoping, I'm going to be optimistic. So I'm going to go Buffalo 3-2. I think it's a close game. Like I said, we need a couple lucky bounces. We need a couple breaks to go our way, and I think we'll be okay. But if we come out flat in the first 5 minutes of this game's over. They're going to jump on us, and that's going to be it. They're going to put the foot on the gas, and they're not going to let up. And unfortunately, we don't have the talent yet you know what I mean, to keep up with a team like that. So I'm going 3-2 Buffalo, hopefully in a close game, but we're going to need some breaks to get past Florida.
Yeah, I mean, the Sabres goaltending has been a bit of an issue, and just the amount of goals they've been giving up. They've given up like 5 goals 9 times out of their last like 14 games or something like that, 5 or more goals. And if that's going to be the case again with Aaron Dell in net, you're not going to be able to win this one. Sergei Bobrovsky has been clinical all season, .930 save percentage, double-digit wins already. He looks absolutely phenomenal, looks like a Vezina candidate this year. And just the way in general Florida's played, they have a great system that's benefiting all these players. I don't think Barkov being out is a huge thing. Like I said, we don't have any superstars anyways. Getting Middlestat back is nice, but his first game back into action, don't think that's going to be enough. Sabres giving up too many goals. Love the over in this one. Give me like a 5-3 Florida win, maybe an empty netter there to make it 5-3.
Yeah, I agree. It's I think it's gonna be a high scoring affair. I think you're gonna see Casey come out of the gates pretty hot here. You know, he hasn't played in quite some time, so that adrenaline's gonna be pumping for him. Aaron Dillon, it's just, you know, that guy can't get sent back to Rochester quick enough, guys. You know, I'd love to predict a Sabres win. I really, really would, but I'm gonna go 5-3 Florida here.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'll say 5-4. I'll say 5-4. You know, I just Bobrovsky has absolutely just, you know, he's been in the zone. One thing you do know about Sergei Bobrovsky though is he can never sustain that for an entire season. There's always some type of point where he falls off a little bit. So I like
He's
Bob.
the Ryan Fitzpatrick of NHL goalies.
You know, he's, you know, but here's the thing. They have a young Spencer Knight who's performed very, very well in the past. So, you know, they have a really, you know, even if Bob does fall off, they have a very capable backup in Spencer Knight, former first-round pick. So, we'll see here. I'm going to predict, though, a 5-4 win for Florida. I just don't see Buffalo being able to keep up with that firepower down in the Sunshine State. It's just, you know, even without Barkov, you still have Verhaeghe, you still have Huberdeau, you still have Sam Reinhart, you still have a resurgent Sam Bennett, who ever since coming into Florida from Calgary has really turned his career around. And, you know, guy has just been on a tear ever since coming to Florida. So that's what I predict. I'm going to say 5-4 Florida win. I hope I'm wrong, but we will see. So with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. You know, stay tuned later tonight. Hopefully I can hop on for another edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen with my post-game thoughts. And always remember that this has been brought to you by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. As I always tell you guys in the podcast or in I'll Hang Up and Listen, whenever I go hang out at my boy Greg Day's house for game day or game night, always stop over to Outlet Liquor to buy all my adult beverages. So make sure you get over there, and we will talk to you later. And Ty, what are the 3 words?
Outlet Liquor.
I don't know.
I'll do it. Let's go
Buffalo.
Buffalo.